Hey everybody, Heiden here, and I'm back with the Lodrik versus Heiden campaign. This is the 7th of February, 1942, turn 63, combat replay and analysis. So here's what we got to look forward to on this one. We have Lodrik's carrier still hanging off the northern tip of New Caledonia with another unidentified task force behind it. Not sure what's going to happen with that. It's very concerning to me. Maybe he's planning an invasion of New Caledonia as well. Yikes. We also have the resolution of what's going to happen at Luganville. Personally, I don't have high hopes of that holding that much longer. And then we also have Lodrik's forces in the Indian Ocean, in the Bay of Bengal. We're trying to figure out what that is. So let's watch this turn and see what happens. Okay, everybody, we're live with the February 7th turn. Let's wish for some luck this turn. We're going to need it. Those carriers off of New Caledonia are going to be a problem. And there he goes. He took Merak. And we captured a base in Thailand. Coast Watchers are reporting some ships. Okay, so no initial amphibious invasion of New Caledonia, which probably would have started by now. Okay, no night strikes. This is moving right along. No subs so far for either of us, and that's fine with me. Okay, so now he's landing at Belitung, which is an island out in the Java Sea out here, in between Borneo and Sumatra. Nothing really there for us, but he's just trying to capture bases because that's what he's supposed to do. Oh! Interesting. You seeing this? He just landed in behind us at Cagayan. He's trying to box. Oh, wow. He's so desperate to stop us from taking out his guys at Surigao that he's landing in behind us to try to cut us off. Not a bad move. Okay. This is interesting. He just landed at Indeni, which is a dot base north of Luganville, which is a really good base. It's a strong base. You can build up the airfield quite a bit. That would have been my next place to go if we were going to hold on to Luganville. Absolutely so. So I mean, this makes sense to me. Some really good smart moves this turn by Lodrik. Really well thought out, honestly. We'll talk about it more in the analysis, but smart. Okay. This is us. That's the old Mark 14 curse for us right there. So the Tautog moves north to engage this this minesweeper, and we fire 2 torpedoes, and we get a hit, and no explosion. Okay, now this is his. Oh, come on! You got to give me a break here. That's so frustrating. Okay, so the I-156 hits our destroyer escort, which I specifically put out there to deal with subs, and he ate a torpedo, which is not the way I want this to work. So we did get some damage on the I-156 right now, but not enough. Okay, we're getting some more damage on this thing, but it's not enough. Oh, man. That is so frustrated. So frustrating. At this rate, I'm not going to have enough ASW ships left. If they get to fire it first and hit them first, it doesn't really work well, does it? Man, those destroyer escorts are so good too. That's going to be a big loss. Man, these corvettes just have depth charges for days, don't they? So the Junma is definitely dead. Dang it, man, that's tough, man. Okay, now we're spotting a bunch of ships. Okay, this is us spotting some of his subs. Effective raid. He's coming in from Luzon to bomb us here. This landing at Kagai now has me rethinking the whole operation. Alright, now he's just targeting Kukong directly. Really effective raid too. I'm surprised that he did so well with the overcast and the terrain being what it is. He's bombing us here. We have thunderstorms. He's trying to slow us down. Not a lot of casualties, but it will probably knock us out of move mode, which slows us down. Okay. Yeah, now he's run out of stuff to shoot the target, so now he's just bombing Kukong directly. And again, same spot. Trying to slow us down. Okay. This is us. So these are B-17s that I moved over to Port Moresby to give a little, put a little love on Rabal, just so Lodrik knew that he wasn't invincible here. And B-17Ds should have no real issue getting past a bunch of clods. And we get through. Hopefully we hit something here. I think the weather, yeah, the weather kind of didn't help us out there. Okay, so we go in and hit nothing. I'm not really understanding why we're only going with the partial load. This is well within the range of the B-17 with the full load. We're gonna have to look at that as to why we're not lobbing all 8 bombs. So that was not effective. Another raid coming in. We'll get through it, but the weather's also gonna hurt us here. Yeah, that was really ineffective. We've had very bad success hitting Rabal this campaign. Okay, that's AM phase. Take a look at the PM phase now. This is typically when I would see Japanese carrier aircraft doing something. Wow, look at those subs. Oh, hey, we got a hit on one. And now we are hitting... Okay, now we're reporting that we're hitting... Ooh, ouch. Now we're reporting that we hit some subs, which is nice. Hopefully that'll give him a moment of pause. one Catalina was shot down by Cap, presumably over the carriers. All right, so that was pretty okay for us. That's telling me that the carriers have moved off. Now Lodrik has picked up his troops from Ben Colin and moved them up to Padang. And then this is again at Ndeni. Oh, okay. So Lodrik's troops from that took Kami about a week ago or two, it looks like he split them up, and now he's got a cavalry brigade heading south, which I would assume then that the larger force that has like the 750 AV is heading up to Urumqi, which is the jewel of this northern route because it's got the oil. So he takes his space for free. Alright, let me just fast forward through this. This is the daily bombardment that we would typically experience here. He loses some vehicles, we lose some troops. We get a good little look at what he's got here currently, which is about 3,800 AV is what it's showing right now. So that's even. He would never take this hex with this terrain, with this quantity of troops. Now, granted, this is a very very impressive arrangement of troops, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divisions of troops, a lot of artillery. We have multiple tank regiments here. You would think that this could be better employed elsewhere than just sitting here, but you know, but that's fine. I'd rather than be tied up here than elsewhere. Okay, and then the daily bombardment at Changsha, which I will fast forward through. Okay, and the usual losses here. What is interesting to me is this number here. It seems to be going down every single turn. Now, this is not representative of all of his troops. There's more in the hex than this, right? We're only seeing some of it. But the fact that this number continues to decline leads me to believe that he's potentially shifting forces to another area. Where that area is, I couldn't tell you right now. We just don't have good eyes on it. But we probably should be looking out and being aware of future troop movements, because this number used to be quite a bit higher. So where did they go? All right, I'm gonna fast forward this, guys. I think this has got to be the end. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. Jeez. We held out again. Wow. Impressive, huh? These guys held out. Now, look at all the losses we're taking though. He's really getting into the meat of it now. But we held out for yet another day. Okay. Well, Luganville lives another day. Maybe we can get some more aircraft out of there. And the Royal Thai Army fails again in Malaya. Really pathetic. At this time, though, they do finally start causing some damage. But it's still not enough to get us out of there. Okay, that's it for the combat. And we're back to size 1 forts at Luganville for what little that's worth. All right, got a couple ships coming around here. All right, let's take a look at this turn. Okay, here we are. Interesting turn. We'll talk about everything, but let's go through the numbers first. So aircraft losses today were very, very minor for both. We lost one aircraft that we're aware of. It was just one Catalina shot down, presumably in the Indian Ocean by his cap during a naval search. Looking at the top pilots, somehow that pilot was only listed as wounded, and we're probably going to get him back. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can find him. So looking at the group numbers, we don't even see that guy, unless it's I don't know. He'll pop up here at some point. So this Chinese guy, we're going to retire him, and this Dutch pilot wounded, and then we have another Chinese bomber pilot. Okay, and the rest look good. Oh, you know what? I just realized the music is super loud. Let me turn that down. All right. Looking at Army lost points this turn, not much movement at all in this direction, either direction. We went up a little bit due to more losses at Luganville. Lodrik more or less stayed the same. Ships sunk this turn. That's kind of a sore subject for me. The Junma, which is a destroyer escort, which are typically outstanding ASW platforms, was sunk by a Japanese sub again. And that's... it's just frustrating for me because these are supposed to be some of my best ASW ships, but if they don't even get a chance to do their job, they take a torpedo by a sub, which it's so weird too because a lot of times these small craft dodge the torpedoes, but this one just ate one and we lose it. I don't even know if I have any more destroyer escorts left now in theater because they've all been hit by something or another. So we lost that. I'm not happy about it. Nothing I can do. Still no word on any losses to Lodrik's ships. It's still showing 50, but I'm convinced that it's higher than that. Okay. So here's the score. He's about, again, almost 1,600 points in the lead, but not really pulling ahead right now. But he is still technically winning. So I expect this number to go up dramatically in the next couple turns, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Taking a look at the SIGINT here. Something at Singapore is going on. Not really much else to notice here. See if we can see anything at Singapore. Not really. We know he's got ships. We know he's got planes, and a lot of them. So that's something noteworthy. Normally, when you have a big a base like this, when it's like a big runway looking thing, that means there's a lot of aircraft based there. Excuse me for the coughing. What that means to us, I don't know. What kind of aircraft are they? Are they carrier aircraft? Are they just bombers? What kind of aircraft are we talking about here? That I couldn't tell you. So, regardless, it is a sign that he has a lot of aircraft at Singapore. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at the operations report. As always, I'm going to scroll through it. I'll point out things that look important. If not, I'm just going to keep going through it. All right. So we did capture Rahang in Thailand, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Scrolling through here, nothing, not a sightings, right? We reported that we hit a Type C1 submarine, which is a good thing. So that means our ASW aircraft are starting to attack his subs, and you know, depending on how much damage we do, it could be enough to push them out. You know, if we start putting enough bombs on these guys, they can either sink or get damaged enough where they have to go home. And again, we reported hitting another sub, and this is again um, near Colombo, and we report hitting that too. Here's our Catalina that was shot down 4254, which is in the middle of the Bay of Bengal. We'll see if we can find that hex in a second. 4254. Okay. A lot of additional information down here that's pretty cool. Let's see. He captures Ansi, which is northern China, Mongolia area. Pago Pago is building up. Cooktown Airfield size 3. That's excellent. That's our fallback in case we lose Port Moresby. Luganville back to size 1 again. This ISF base force, I think, is in Malaya. We got 10 more B-17Ds available and 4 more P-40Bs available in the pool to distribute, which is great. We got a group that we need to withdraw today. A couple ships coming in. And then there's, of course, the mention of the Junma being shot down, or sunk, rather, and a couple aircraft arrivals. So 4254, right? That's where that Catalina was lost. Let's see if we can find that. 4254. Right here. That makes sense, right? So our Catalina was shot down right here in this hex, and this is exactly where his carriers are at. So the ops report wasn't lying. We lost our PBY out of Ceylon over here as he was allegedly spotting these carriers, which appear to now, they were here last turn. They appear now to be moving this way, everything. So he's done for this run in the Indian Ocean, and then we'll see what happens when he comes back for the next one. Now, let's talk about the situation. Over here in northern China, we've halted our advance, and we're back to building forts. Okay, I gave them all up when I left the area, but that's fine because he can't attack us here anyway. Excuse me again. This unit seems to have halted for the time being, and it's the only thing that's coming down the road here. So this was a great feint attack by Lodrik. He really scared us. Good job. But everything's put back the way it was before. So we're going back to our original defense plan. Staying in Sion. I will get stronger in Sion, just in case he does try to do that. But we're going to hold this unit here to block these guys. We're going to hold our Lanchow defense strategy. I don't care about these bases up here. Aha! There it is. There's the other units that are coming up the road to take Urimchi and the rest of these. So eventually at some point, all this stuff will fall. So everything from the Russian border down to Lanchow will be Japanese at some point. And I've accepted that as a reality of the situation. I don't have enough troops to be sending up there to defend it. It's not worth enough. It's not worth enough to me to do that. So he's going to own these, and that's okay. In central part of China, we still have a mystery as to where his troops are going. I'm starting to see a shifting of troops, and if we look here, we know that he's down to about 1700 AV in Changsha. So it does appear that these troops are falling back here and here. Now, whether or not they're just falling back to rest and rearm, or if he's shifting them to another location, I couldn't tell you. So we'll keep an eye on this and see if we can see where they're going. I'm wondering if he's starting to pivot perhaps to a southern strategy, because I don't really have a good explanation for why else he could be doing what he's doing. So I'm guessing he's trying to shift further south to exploit some sort of way around here, and we'll plan for that. I'll start moving troops around to start getting strong on this part of China, which is our soft underbelly, if you will. Because we've got this locked down, we've got this locked down, we're strong here and here as well. But down here, we're a little weak, and I recognize that as an issue. So I am already moving to adjust that, and I think we'll be able to block him wherever he goes. But his bombardment attacks are a dual-edged sword, right? He causes damage to us in each supply, but we also get a sneak peek of what he's got there, more or less. So that's alerted me to the fact that these guys are no longer where they used to be, and they're moving somewhere else. So, you know, maybe he needs to stop doing these bombardment attacks so I don't get to see what he's got. Moving over to Burma and Thailand, we actually just captured a base. And I mentioned this last turn. This base should not be our base. This base should be crawling with Japanese engineers and aircraft, preparing for an attack on Burma. So the fact that it's not is very telling and is concerning to me because I don't know where he's going. You would think that he'd be already on his way to Burma by now because that's a very important thing if you want to take out China. You got to kill this road. You got to kill Rangoon. You got to kill this road because right now, supplies out of Rangoon, and I will mention this right now, we moved 20,000 supplies last turn, and where did they all go? They went this way, okay? That's going to keep happening until he does something about it, and I don't see him making any moves to do something about it. So all I can gather from this is that he's not planning to go into Burma, at least not the landway, not at this time. So that means he's either planning a naval invasion of the Bay of Bengal area, or he is trying to go somewhere else. I don't know. So where these troops have gone to is anybody's guess. We'll just keep watching it and see if we can figure out what direction he's heading in. Maybe he's heading to Australia. Maybe he's heading... I don't know where he's going. So we got to figure that out. So we can take a look here over at Ceylon. We obviously have a lot of Japanese subs here, but our ASW is starting to kick in, and I've moved a lot of ASW aircraft to Ceylon. So we're going to start seeing more hits on these subs, and we're going to push him away and open up this path to get in and out of Colombo because I cannot keep losing ships and getting harassed by these guys. So pretty soon our aircraft are going to really start taking a toll on his subs, and he'll have to push away. And as he pushes away, that leaves us gaps to get in. So I am pretty convinced that within 2 to 3 turns, the sub menace at Ceylon will diminish substantially. We already saw that 2 subs were hit last turn. We're spotting them all. I'm moving more and more ASW ships down there, more corvettes, more British N-class destroyers that have great ASW ratings. So Lodrik's going to have to move out of there soon. Give me 2 or 3 turns and you'll see this sub-threat diminish at Ceylon. We got eyes on the carrier moving south. That task force, which I think was with him, is moving south. And we have this thing, which is continuing to move further north. Maybe he's going to come in and take over station keeping for these guys. Fine with me. I'd love it if he did. So come on in, Lodrik. Come into Bay of Bengal. I got a little surprise for you if you do. He does have troops in Sabang now, so it's time to get these aircraft out of here. Let's go ahead and transfer what we can down to Palembang. Unfortunately, it's only going to be 1 aircraft because the other one's disabled. I'm pretty sure we may be able to hold out at least 1 turn here. We do have the supply for it, right? And we have a lot of troops here and a little bit of fort. So maybe about 2 turns until this falls, and that will complete his conquest of northern Sumatra. He's captured basically everything else north of Jambi. Pretty soon, I would say within the end of this month, he'll be in Palembang too, and then that'll be that. And then it remains to be seen how much damage we can cause to the oil and refineries there before it goes down. Hopefully a lot. We're going to send these guys over to Billiton just to give them a shot. See what they can do. In Java, things are getting a little dire. Supplies starting to continue to be an issue at Batavia. Now to Jilitjap. He's just slowly closing the noose on all of this. I would say he's doing pretty decent in Java right now. By the end of February, I think we'll be down to just having Bandoang and Batavia still standing. And that makes sense. He did capture Bandarmasin last turn, and we did manage to get the President Madison out of there. We're going to move it down to Makassar just for a few turns to get the system damage reduced. I am not comfortable sailing long distances with system damage above 50, because that's when you start taking on damage to your flotation and engines and everything else. The system damage are all the little ancillary things on the ship that keep it moving. The pumps, the fire, the damage control, all the electrical systems, whatever you want to call it. The weaponry, okay? Like this. That's all wrapped up into system damage, and anything over 50 can cause the ship to start taking on flooding damage. Okay, but we're gonna get to Makassar hopefully within a turn. In fact, I may even want to just full speed this thing in there just to make sure we make it on this turn, and then we will go auto disband. I want to clear this as quickly as possible so we don't get shot up before it gets here. In the Philippines, he is now in Bataan, which is a problem. You know, once he has the troops to take this out. We have 400 AV. We're starting to have supply issues here. The terrain is okay. The fort is good, but we don't have the troops. And what troops we have are not in great condition. Okay, look at the morales. Not particularly good. So I think Bataan may hold for a turn, maybe two, but that's basically it. And once that's done, he can clear these minefields out and get Luzon operating as a proper base for himself, getting a lot of resources and things out of here, because there is a lot of resources available in this part of Luzon, right? So Bataan will fall. Once it falls, you'll notice there's quite a few troops here. This is going to be a major hit to the points, right? Because we're going to take probably 1,000 to 2,000, I'm estimating, lost points, and that's going to really change the score calculus for us. And I can't do anything about it. There's just no way to get the troops out of the Philippines. They're predisposed to die at the start of your campaign, right? And it's just a points loss we have to eat. Down here in Mindanao, Lodrik pulled a fast one on me, and I gotta say, I'm really impressed. It was thoughtful. So this is our supply. Our supplies are in Malaybalay, right? And the easiest way to supply our troops is through Cagayan on this road, but he just cut it off. All right. That doesn't mean that we still can't get supply from Malaybalay to Butuan, but it just takes longer. So I'm not deterred. I'm going to continue pressing on the Surigao because I know he's weak here. I want to destroy these troops, and once that's done, I will head back to Fortress Malaybalay, and we'll just wait there till end times. But very smart. And Lodrik is also employing his bombers effectively, chipping away at our troops every day with good raids. The clear terrain is not helping us one bit, so we're going to continue eating those every day that we're in Butuan until we get to Surigao, where the jungle rough will be in our benefit. But he's going to recapture Cagayan. Smart move. Well played. At Ternate, we notice that he has a 10-ship convoy moving southeast. Now, southeast is this direction, but that doesn't mean that he can't continue down. So this may be another invasion attempt on Kendari or Ambon. What I've done to mitigate that is put subs and all of the major choke points, right? Well, some of them anyway, what I could. So hopefully if he does intend to move down this way, actually I'm going to move that guy there and maybe move this guy here. Whatever. I'm going to hopefully I can catch something as they're coming through. But we also have a lot of aircraft here. Hopefully we can get an engagement. I don't see any aircraft supporting this at this time. Now, this very well could just be a reinforcement for Ternate. He's trying to build up a base here to power project, but we'll keep an eye on this task force. We don't know what it is, but we know it's coming. Taking a peek at Australia, once again, we have no Lodrik intervention, and we're just, you know, loading and unloading supplies as they come in and go out. So I actually just sent this tanker task force out, heading towards Abadan, and that is from Cape Town. So we're unabated in our convoy operations into Western Australia for the time being. So in Australia, down here by Sydney, check this out. Look at this. He knows that he let some convoys slip through, so now he's stacking all his subs here, but I really think that he's screwing up by doing that because I have a lot of aircraft here now. Take a look at this. Look how many aircraft squadrons that we've got. Oh, let's rebuild these guys. We have, if you want to take a look at this, 144 fighters, 23 level bombers, 14 patrol aircraft, and 6 float planes currently in Sydney alone. And if you look over here, I have all these rearways training away every day on ASW, and these guys are now at the point where they're going to be really good. See 60, 56, 58. Every day they're getting stronger. When I start putting these rearways in here, his subs are going to start getting hit every turn, and they're going to get spotted every turn. And when a sub is spotted, it makes the task forces that have to weave their way through more likely to get around them, because the data, the way it works is that your planes spot these subs and tell the task forces via radio or however you want to rationalize it where the stuff is at. And so even though they have to drive through a hex with the sub, they may be able to evade it and never actually get hit. Because if you think about it, each hex is 46 statute miles, right? So that's a lot of ocean to drive around a sub. So I think Lodrik's making a mistake by stacking his subs in one hex like this, because it's just making them easier for us to sight, engage, and hit. That's my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion on how ASW works, feel free to comment in the video and tell me what you think. But I don't think this is a good strategy, just stacking all your subs in one spot, because now these are all detected, right? So here's the Kido Butai. I thought he was actually going to stick around and do something, but apparently I think he's feeling the pain. So he moved about 8 or 9 hexes away from where he was. And that's a standard speed for a carrier task force to move at, normal speed, your mission speed, your cruise speed. So he's definitely heading back northeast towards Rabal and or Truck. So for the time being, we have a little bit of a break in the action. So I'm going to take that time to rest up my pilots, to do some damage control, to get my act together in Noumea and deal with these subs. Now we have 5 subs sighted off Noumea, but we have great ASW aircraft coming in, and within 2 to 3 turns, I think we'll have enough in place to start pushing his subs away. When he starts getting hit like they did in Colombo, he's going to be more wary to keep them so close inland. And I'm transferring ASW aircraft and ships into Noumea daily, so this will be resolved. One thing I want to share with you guys that completely baffled me. I'm shocked. Okay, last turn I predicted that the Northampton and the Chicago were going to sink. They had fire damage in excess of like 70 to 80, and in the past, playing as a Japanese player, when I had a heavy cruiser like that on fire, it burned to the ground. But I keep forgetting that I'm an allied player now. We have god tier levels of damage control. I want to show you something. This is unbelievable. So, oh, by the way, I want to tell you, this is OPSEC. This stuff does not need to be getting to Lodrik. So if any of you guys are spying, stop it. Watch this. The Northampton and the Chicago, fire level 0. These ships are not going to sink. All right? I can't believe it. I thought they were done for. With these numbers, with fire like that, I was convinced that the ships are going to go down. But miraculously, the fires are out, and we can save these ships. Now, it's not going to be easy. They're going to be out of action for 6 months, but they did not sink. So what does that mean? It changes the entire calculus of Lodrik's attack on Noumea. I felt like last turn it was a 50-50 trade. He lost a lot of aircraft and a lot of pilots, but we lost 2 very good heavy cruisers that I can't replace right now. This is February 1942. This is not January 1943. Yes, these ships were lost at the Battle of Tassafaronga and the Battle of Rennell Island in late 42, early 43. That's 10 months from now, okay? We haven't had a chance to use these ships the way I want to yet. And I was not excited about the fact that they were going to sink, but they're not going to sink. The Northampton is going to go into stand down mode, and it's going to start chipping away at this damage. And while this looks bad, if I speed it up, we can get it a bit faster, right? So we're going to do that. One thing I think really helped here is the captain. The captain has very high naval skill. See that, 69? For you guys that may not be aware, you want to put your best, on your best ships, put the captains that have the highest naval skill, because that helps them maneuver at sea, and it helps them repair their ship if the ship is damaged, or this has to have influenced the fact that we were able to get the fire damage down to nothing in one turn. All right, so Captain Chandler saved his ship with his crew. It's amazing. All right, next ship. Let's look at the Chicago. Same thing, Captain Butai. High naval skill, 65. Also, excellent inspiration, excellent leadership skills, right? These all contribute to your damage control effort. He got the fires down from absolutely terminal, where the whole ship was basically aflame, to nothing in one turn. And guess what? Readiness. Stood down. These will not sink. If you're stood down at pier side, it's pretty rare to have a ship sink at that point, all right? So they're going to start chipping away at the system damage. And once we get these numbers below 50, we can think about sending them either back to Pearl Harbor or over to Sydney, wherever we want. But these ships will not sink. None of these ships will sink now, okay? We're going to stand them all down, just for the time being. So we can start working on repairs. And I'm going to work on getting an AR out here, a repair ship, which will speed up these pierside repairs. Okay. There you go. That's the final tally. Pretty incredible. I am so happy. Now, again, now this makes Lodrik's attack on Noumea not look so good. It looked good when it was certain that we thought these ships were going to sink, or I did rather. Nobody else seemed to, everybody else thought that they were going to survive, and I was like, you guys are crazy. Well, I'm the crazy one here because I don't know what I'm talking about. But all those aircraft he lost, while he did put some ships out of action for a while, that's true. None of these are going to sink, and I can have these back in a reasonable amount of time before the end of the year. And I think that's great. So there you go. I'm going to give a round of applause to these guys. At Luganville, we held out again, but we are now scraping the bottom of the barrel, okay? We're down to one serviceable tank. The 8th Marines are finished. I've been saying it for the last several turns that we can't hold. I really mean it now. I don't see how we can continue this fight. We don't have any more troops left that are alive. We keep getting ahead of the fortifications, but until he runs out of supply, we're not gonna hold here. It just doesn't make sense. And I will tell you this: I have stopped reinforcing it. I'm trying to cut my losses. Sunk cost fallacy. I don't want to keep dumping stuff into a place that I can't reinforce right now. For one, all my ships are blowing up, and two, I don't have any more troops to send over there. And three, I can't really risk sending ships out of Noumea right now until we deal with these subs. So those three factors have determined that I can't risk sending any more troops into Luganville to die. And that's what they've been doing. We can take a look at the combat report here. Oh. Oh yeah, that we knew that. Let's see if we can find the combat report. Ah, here it is. While this adjusted is pretty good, we're still just eating losses, right? Vehicles, guns. When they're destroyed, we don't get them back. Disabled, we get back. Squads and destroyed stuff, we don't. And we're not destroying any of his stuff. They're just disabling it, and those can be rebuilt. So, I just don't see us having enough troops there to actually keep taking these losses. So, I give it another turn or two, and it's over. I've been saying that for like 3 turns now, and these Marines keep proving me wrong. But I think you guys can agree now that the math is showing when you start getting into destroyed stuff, that's bad. So Luganville's got 1 or 2 more turns. One thing that's good here is that we're going to rescue 4 more aircraft, to include a PBY, which I don't have enough of right now. So I will fly these off when I put pilots on here. And at worst case scenario at this point, we're only going to lose 2 aircraft on Noumea, which is fantastic. It's amazing. We had suffered almost no aircraft losses at Luganville, and that's really, really awesome. So my gamble to leave the aircraft on the island has actually paid off very well. It dissuaded him from attacking it. We didn't really lose any, and we're getting them all back. It's nothing but positive. So all said and done, total investment into Luganville, other than the troops, was 2 aircraft lost in this phase of the attack. he did take Indeni, which I explained during the replay. It's a smart move. This is a good base. You can build it up to a size 5 air base, which is more than enough to operate the heaviest bombers that you got. And if I had held Luganville, I'll tell you right now, the next place I would have taken was definitely Indeni. I would have done the exact same thing. So either you go from here down or from here up, as depending on what side of this campaign you're on. So he took Indeni, and he's just building fallback positions in case he does take Luganville. He's got Plan B, Plan C, Plan E, D, whatever, until we get to Rebull, because we're going to have to work our way up these islands, just like the Allies did in World War II. We're going to have to do the same thing. Hopefully we can use New Caledonia as our launching point to do all this free conquest, right? But right now we can't, because we're just not strong enough. Anyway, that's our turn. Really, really, really happy about the Chicago and the Northampton. Happy that the Kido Butai is moving off. It gives us about a day to get our act together, a week or so, maybe 2, to get our act together and get some more reinforcements into Noumea while we can, because we really need to. I will leave you with one last tidbit. Remember how we were talking about the Tambor last turn? How I thought it wasn't going to make it? Check it out. We're down to 9 days out from Attu, and I just noticed that the flotation damage is actually decreased. Okay, so that means that this ship is actually getting ahead of this thing. The system damage is still high, but the flotation damage ticked down 1 or 2 points, which is a good sign that the ship may not sink, or it buys us more time before it might. So once again, Allied damage control is coming through big time for us, and we may be able to save the Tambor after all. So every turn I'll keep an eye on this for you guys so you can see how it's doing. But so far, so good. It's starting to look better. It's starting to look more likely that this thing is going to make it out. So that just means I need to stop making predictions, because all of my predictions tend to be wrong lately. I called Luganville wrong 3 times in a row. I thought he was going to attack. New Caledonia didn't. I thought this ship was going to sink. It did. It's not. I thought the 2 heavy cruisers in Noumea were going to sink. They're not. So whatever I say, guys, just don't listen to me. Come up with your own conclusions, because they're probably more correct than mine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going on vacation here. I'm going to be out for about 3 days, so you probably won't see any more uploads from me until at least the weekend of September of 2022. If you're watching this video 10 years from now, you know, God forbid. So no videos for me for a while, but enjoy this one. Leave your comments in the video. Come to my Discord. We got 140 people there now, and it's getting really, really great. If you want more information than what I share on these videos, that's where you're going to have to go get it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.